So let's go ahead and import those textures now. So at the bottom right hand corner of this viewport here, with all the the libraries of the materials, we can click on import resources. Okay, and then click on add resources. And I need to find my resources, wood samples. So you open up wood substance, wood samples, new. Okay, and then I have all the wood samples here that I'd like you guys to go ahead and use. These are free for you guys to use in any project that you want. Please do not disseminate though. Please don't give these to other students. So keep it to yourself and your projects. Let's click on open. Right, so in here we've got undefined. We're going to highlight all the undefined ones, and we are going to click on the last one and go to base material. And that should change all of them at once, which saves us a lot of times. Import your resources to your library assets. I would recommend that. Okay, so library, your assets. So this is our library and this is our assets. So we're going to click on that and import. Okay, so now you can see all of the assets that we have now. For wood, you can see that if I click on it, it will automatically upload. Now this was meant for the wall. So fancy wood. If I highlight, you can see these are like for the walls. Okay. This is for the walls. That one is wooden floor. And then we've got simple finished wood. We have smooth wood. We have substance graph. We have varnished wood, warped, stripped wood, and we've got American cherry. We got rough wood. We've got wood walnut. We've got wood panel. And we've got a wood floor. So some of these we can't use because they won't look right. So if I click on that and just kind of run on that one, throw it on there, you see that it's not what we want it to be, because that's not going to work. It doesn't look like wood, so we want to make this a wood table. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and click on the varnished. Okay, so I'm just going to click on it. And for some reason it's given me that, and it might be because I've got the other one on there. So I'm gonna go ahead and delete this. I'm gonna highlight the leather skin I had on before and get rid of that. There we go. Now you can see we've got that wood, and the wood grain is not flowing the right way. Okay, so I'm going to click on the wood, procedural wood floor, and that's a wooden floor, but I'm going to see if this will work on here. And we want to rotate it so it flows the right way. And that would be, I'm going to type in 90 degrees, so you can type that in. There we go. And this is an 8-foot sheet, so I'm going to go ahead and make the tiling quite a bit larger. Something like 3, because that's a big table. 8 feet is a big table. There we go. And then, of course, we can add the same thing to the legs. Okay. All right. So I'm going to click on 1002, and I'm going to go ahead and drag that onto the legs. Okay. Now they're also going the wrong way, so we're just going to rotate that to 90. There we go. And again, tiling needs to be scaled the exact same amount, so that would be 3 on that. Here we go, look at that. So we got our table. That's basically it. Now, you do have, of course, lots of things you can do. You can see it's pretty reflective because it's reflecting the environment here. And if I want to move the environment around, I'm holding down the shift and my right mouse button allows me to move that environment around so you can see that object reflected into the table. So what it's doing is it has a HDR image built into Substance Painter, which is really, really cool. And you can find that over here when you click on the display settings. Okay, so in display settings, I can click on, right now the environment map that you see reflected on the table is a panorama. Okay, and you can choose another one. Right now it has this one, panorama. We could probably do a in studio one. Okay. And again, I can hold down the shift key and my right mouse button to kind of see what it looks like. Okay. And you can see that the table is highly lacquered, highly reflective, okay, in this image, which is kind of cool. Okay. Opacity, environment opacity means that right now it's invisible. And when you actually, if you were to render something, you don't want the environment to be on. Okay. Maybe some instances you do, but I'm going to go ahead and turn it on so you can see. Again, it's very blurry, right? Okay. So sometimes that's great for bokeh, make it look like it is depth of field, make it look like a photograph. Okay. But I can unblur that to where you can really see, you can see the environment now. Okay. Okay, so basically that is it. You can just rotate around. That kind of helps you different lighting scenarios, and you can choose other environments just to see what it looks like. It's a darker one. On force, you can kind of run through these to see what they look like, how they look in that environment. And you can see that the environment, the HDR, really gives a sense of realism to the object because it's reflecting the environment. And you wouldn't get that without the HDR, high dynamic range image. Okay. So I'm going to go back to panorama. Okay. That works okay. And that's good enough. And I just wanted to show that to you. You can also mess around with this and the settings and continue to, you know, experiment and stuff like that. But that's all I'm going to show you right now. I'm going to turn the opacity down because I really don't want to see this. Okay. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and close that. And we are going to continue. So looking at the surface, I'm going to go into the settings. So I'm going to click on varnished wood. Okay. I've got my tiling. We can open up attributes or anything that we can find that will actually let us change some of the properties if there are any. And there aren't too many. It looks like it's pretty locked up, which is what you see is what you get. You can turn off normal map and maybe height map. And I guess we're on the, whoops, turned off the wrong ones for the, I was turning off the legs. So I'm going to go to the top one and click on this and then turn off the normal map, okay, and the height map. Okay, now you can see what the table looks like without the height map, which is bumping that image up. As you can see on the leg still has the height map on there, which gives us detail of the wood texture. Okay, looks kind of funny without it. Okay, so I'm going to turn on height back in. Actually, turn off height and then click on normal. And normal gives us some bump in there, you can see, very little bump. So you almost need to have the height in there to see it. Okay. So there we go. That's what we have so far with the table. Now you got an idea. Now the question is, I don't really care for this one so much. I think I'm going to try some other woods, right? So you can go ahead and do what you want. Again, I need to take out the one we just had. So the procedure wooden floor, we're going to click on it and click on the garbage can. That way we have a new tabletop here, which I like better. And I'm going to click on the top one and tile it to 3 and rotate it to 90 so it's going up and down, so we can get that a nicer looking table. There we go. That looks better. Okay. Excellent. And now we're going to do the legs. Okay. Okay, so for the legs, I could even go with a dark color, which would be kind of fun, kind of cool. So I'm going to drag and drop this dark color onto that. I'm going to get rid of the varnished wood. Now you notice that it's kind of giving me kind of a wild looking pattern here, which is interesting. So, but I'm going to get rid of the varnished wood by deleting it, clicking on the trash can, and I can see that my tiling's the wrong way, or excuse me, my rotation's the wrong way. So I'm going to do 90. There we go, 90. And the tiling should represent kind of what we have for the top of the table. And this is exactly what I want. I kind of want that nice clean wood top with a black bottom for more of a modern type table. Okay, which is very cool. All right, so what do we have on here as far as the thing we can change? Oh, this has got a lot of different attributes here on the wood. So you could really make it your own, okay, on the wood, and you can kind of experiment. I clicked on parameters, and you can see we've got size, leave default, we've got size thickness, warp intensity, noise intensity, warp scaling. And I have not gone through all these materials are something I haven't used yet, but please feel free to kind of mess around. But what I would do before you mess around with these, so you don't mess up the material. Now if you mess it up, it's non-destructive, meaning you can delete this and then add it back on again and make changes and go back to where you were before, or you could write down the parameters and mess around with them and then bring them back again if you want to. But I'm happy with the way it is right now. Okay, we're good with that. And I'm going to also create my chairs and give it the same textures that I have here. So that's about it. Now I'm going to go to the tabletop to see what kind of parameters I can change on this one. We've got luminosity. Let's take a look at what that does here. I'm going to kind of get a better look at it here. Luminosity. So I'm going to turn that up. Oh, okay. Don't want to do that. But I can make it brighter and darker. Interesting. Okay, that's cool. I'm going to bring it back to 0. Whoops. Or should I? 0.5, I think was what I had it at. And contrast. Oh, that's pretty cool. You can get a really nice deep colors. Pretty cool. I like that. And then hue shift, kind of give it some different colors. If you're wanting to go more of a yellow color, of course you want something that looks more natural than not. So that looks pretty good. All right, then we've got, looks like saturation. That's pretty cool too. Can make it look faded if you want to. There you go. And then normal intensity, height, range. You want to probably pull, I kind of want to pull that back a little bit. Okay, you don't want real big gouges in here. normal intensity. If we bring that down, height range, bring that down a little bit more. Here we go. Okay. Height position. Okay, we're good on that. AO spread. And it looks like that's okay. So I'm happy with that. All right, so if you're finally happy with your texture, you can explore some other textures too as well. Feel free to add whatever texture you want onto your table. But we're going to go ahead and save this out, export the textures in the next video. Okay, before we do that though, I want to go ahead and save what we have. So saving our model and with the texture on it, I'm going to go to File. I'm going to go to Save As. Okay, and go ahead and click on the project that you're working on. Mine would be in my PC and my flash drive. And let's go in here, module 1, table and chairs. And we're just going to save it in here because we'll know it's in there. And then it's more convenient for me to find it if it's in the folder that I created. And then I'm going to just type in something like table SP, which is substance painter, and then TX texture. So, whoops, I need to do underscore. Otherwise, we'll get some kind of a coding error. All right, there we go. Save it. And all right, so we'll be back with how to export the textures.